Hey y'all, it's Natalie today, and I have a Technique Tuesday video over on the Cherry on Top channel where I made this gel press plate pull, and I'm going to create a layout with it. I just couldn't do it all in one video because it made the video really long, but I have other pulls that I made too that turned out really beautiful, so make sure to check that out. I'll link down below with the Cherry on Top video link to go check out their channel. I'll tag them too. But I created this pull with a grid layout in mind, so I knew that I wanted to dissect it into 4 squares, which actually I only used 3 on this layout, but that's why each of the squares already kind of had like a black distressed edge on it, and I'm super happy with how it turned out, and I'm also glad about how it cut down well. I did decide to rip off a few edges to kind of make the squares a little more imperfect to kind of go with the vibe that I'm going with here. So I roughed up the edges of all 3 of the squares really well, and then I'm going to ink them up with black distress ink to let the black paint pop and kind of help them pop off the page really well. I am scrapbooking 3 pool photos of my sons and my sister-in-law and me, and just a fun time we had the other day. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing here, is just continuing to distress the grid squares, and I am going to pop those up onto some foam later so that they will have lots of high dimension and everything. So there I go with the black ink, and I'm inking up the edges to help give a lot of depth when I do pop them up. I'm also going to go in and add splatter, so that will help tie the splatter into the pattern paper, if you will. These were like the pattern papers. Oh, I forgot. I also roughed up the edges of this background paper. It's a really old Heidi Swapp piece, but it had a perfect little flower that matched the blue, and it was otherwise pretty white background without being a white background, if you know what I mean. So now I just added the ink to my glass mat and added some water to water it down to make watercolors so I can kind of do splatter. And I'm bringing the squares back over to ensure that I'm getting black splatter that peeks out from all sides of the squares. So I don't make you watch the whole thing. There, boom. It's mostly all there. Yeah, I'm happy with how that looks. And I decided that the title section is going to be up there in the right hand side, so that is going to be without any patterned or gel pressed paper. There I go, adding in foam dots on the background of my square. I've got them all added, and I'm going to take them off and place them nicely within the splattered squares on the background paper. I'm going to put my links down below if you would like to go shopping for any of the supplies at Cherry on Top. I highly suggest getting a gel press. They're super fun to play with. There is a little bit of a learning curve, but if you go watch the video on a Cherry on Top today, you can see the tips that I've learned, and I reiterated the most important ones a few different times because they are important. And it took me playing with the plate probably about 5 to 8 times to kind of figure out exactly what I need to do. But it's fun. Like I said, it's playing, and I just added a white background to the backs of the photos, and I kind of did the same thing that I did with the squares and like distressed the edges and kind of left them a little wonky just to give some interest. I'm using those blue glitter thickers. Say that 3 times fast. The ones they say Splish Splash. We had a lot of Splish Splash going on. Sorry if you hear background sounds. Apparently my neighbors decided it's time to shoot fireworks right after I put my kids to bed. So I also have some Kelly green palm fronds and different monstera leaves that I die cut on my Sizzix Big Shot, and I'm going to use those to embellish around the page. So I anchored a little bit where I'm going to put the title, and I will kind of overlap the title onto those anchored bits of ephemera so that everything seems like it goes, even though it is like floating in midair over there, kind of in its own little grid, the title. So I'm loving how that looks. And the thickers are glitter, and then the paper that I used to cut the palm fronds is also a little bit glittery. So I like that little nod. I definitely got my rustic sparkle going on here. So I just add in a few more of the palm fronds around the page, just in all the different grids to kind of give a little more interest. And then I decide to go pull out my Pink Fresh gems. I haven't used these in a while, and I have the perfect two colors to go with the green and the blue. But I also decided, since I have so much black splatter, that I would like to add a little bit of black stamping. So I get this Alta New stamp, and I'm going to stamp it down. I think it says "You're too cool for summer," something like that. You'll be able to see in the final photos. And my recording strip is covering it up right now. And I'm gonna cut that out and rough up the edges and put them by this bottom photo over here. And I'm also gonna get another little sentiment from the Citrus Twist Kits stamp set, and it says "Searching for Sunshine." I'm just gonna kind of double stamp it there under the title, just as like a subtitle. And I will also do a double stamp of the date. So I do that off screen. So but they mimic each other and look really nice, I think. So now I'm just adding in the green and the blue gems around the page. I won't make you watch me do all of that, but I just kind of like put them where they're visually pleasing to the eye and all the different sizes. And I think that's about it. Make sure to head over to A Cherry on Top to check out my Technique Tuesday video showing how to make this gel press pull, sorry, that's also hard to say, as well as a few others that I made, and some tips on playing with that. I highly suggest going to get one to play around with, and this is one way you can use them on your layout. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye y'all.